Before we begin the video, if you haven't yet, come on down and join my Discord server. Link is down in the description. Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel for another Season 13 video. Today I want to talk about a mysterious object that the Skull Sorcerer seems to be holding. Because the season hasn't released yet, no one knows what the real name for this object is, but it's basically a green skull, so that's what I'll be calling it. And here it is. In every set he appears in, the Skull Sorcerer is holding this green skull, and I feel like this could have some sort of significance in the story, so that's what I want to theorize about. Taking a closer look at it, it is the legacy mold for these skulls, and it's printed in green and has a menacing expression with green eyes. Now, I feel like this object is too significant to just be a random skull. I mean, it's in green, it has eyes and everything. The Skull Sorcerer is holding it. What is this exactly? Well, I kind of have a theory about the Skull Sorcerer that we'll also be talking about today, so let me show you something else. This is a sticker from, I'm pretty sure, the Skull Dungeon set, and what it basically shows here is a picture of this guy in black robes holding a staff and a skull. Stickers aren't always show accurate, so do keep that in mind as we go forward. I feel like this could be proof, but I don't think it's concrete evidence. But what I find interesting is he looks a lot like the Skull Sorcerer. He's got the robes and also a skull in his hand. This may sound weird, but what if that guy in the sticker is actually the Skull Sorcerer? What if he somehow became corrupted and turned into this villain? And what if the thing that corrupted him is actually the skull in his hand? This would be very similar to Nexo Knights if any of you watched that, where the main villain was the Book of Monsters controlling Jestro, I think. What I'm thinking here is that the green skull is way more important than we realize, and maybe might even be the true villain of the season. I think this would be a fairly decent twist, you know. A lot of us are expecting Klaus, but something like this would be unexpected. And if the green skull does turn out to be this important, then I can see it being its own character, you know, having its own voice and name. And of course, some kind of backstory too. Perhaps it was an ancient sorcerer who got trapped in the skull and is now using the current sorcerer as a vessel. So to defeat the baddies, the ninja have to eliminate the green skull, which would turn the Skull Sorcerer back into a normal guy. I could actually see something like this working, because while I really want it to be Klaus, that would be very confusing, as Tommy Andresen says, for new viewers, and Ninjago almost never does stuff like this. Having to reference Dark Island Trilogy and explain why Klaus is in the underworld seems to be a direct violation of this new viewer's rule. So that's why I'd say the green skull theory is a little bit more plausible to me. However, there are definitely some drawbacks to that theory as well. It sounds very similar to Unagami and especially the Ice Emperor, especially with the whole external force corrupting Zane. Having the green skull would be similar, and I feel like that would kind of be a bit repetitive. I still think it's a really cool idea, but I feel like Klaus would be far better. And, you know, do we really need to have the third season in a row where the villain turns good? Also, just because the green skull has a face and looks evil doesn't necessarily mean it is some big baddie. It's very likely it could just be some kind of prop or instrument. Even if it isn't some secret villain, there are still a variety of other things it could be. Maybe it's just a weapon where the Skull Sorcerer gets his power from, but isn't really corrupted by it. Or perhaps it's just an item that he needs to carry out his plan alongside the other two Skull Swords, which by the way we'll be discussing next week. Whatever the case though, I think this green skull will definitely play a big role in the season, and I hate to say it because I really want to see Klaus back, but I would even say this theory is more likely than the Klaus one. So I could see this happening, and hey, this is still a really cool idea. I think something like this with the green skull secretly being in command would actually be very cool, and a really interesting story. It may not be Klaus, but that doesn't mean it's bad, you know? Anyways though, that's all I got for today. Thank you for watching. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and share with anyone and everyone you know. Let me know what you guys think of my theory and what role you think the green skull plays in the season, and I'll see you next time.